In this video, we're gonna cover the transition from crow to one-legged crow. And while this transition does require you to have a little bit of upper body strength and engagement, it's much more technical than it is about strength. And that is actually true of pretty much all our arm balances and inversions. Now, the caveat for this video, you need to have crow pose and you need to have one-legged crow. If you don't have those in your practice yet, check out the link in the description below. My arm balance and inversions program, Yogi Flight School, teaches you how to do all of the nitty-gritty details of the poses, and then you can start to flow them and link them together. So if you already have crow and one-legged crow, what you need to know about freeing up your leg and sending it back for the one-legged crow is that the main thing that needs to occur before you do that is a weight shift. So many of our arm balances and inversions are about physics, mechanics, science. Where is your center of gravity and where is your weight? And where do you need to put your weight in order to make a transition possible, right? So a lot of people just think, I'm just gonna come here and then I'm gonna muscle my leg up. I'm gonna lift it. And then they go, but I'm not strong enough. It really absolutely does feel that way when your entire body weight is coming down evenly through both arms. If that is the case, and your body weight is coming down evenly through both arms, naturally you're not gonna be able to lift one leg, right? Because all of your weight is on that leg. So what do we need to do? We need to shift the weight off of the arm that we're gonna leave alone. Yeah, the arm where the leg is gonna leave, we need to shift the weight off of that arm. So what does that look like? So the first thing we need to understand is your weight in crow pose is in the middle. You have an equal amount of weight on both knees. I'm gonna show it to you from the front, and you can very clearly see that my hips are in between my arms. Now, in order to make the transition to one-legged crow, I have to deliver my hips over one arm or the other. So the first thing I want you to do is just put your hands on the floor or on blocks and just stand up. And I want you to swing your hips to one side and then swing your hips to the other side. And swing them to one side and swing them to the other side. So just get really clear that you can have your hands on the floor and you can wiggle your tail from side to side. Now, you're gonna try and do that in crow pose. Yeah, that's why I said you kind of need crow pose in order to do this transition. So what you're gonna do is find your Kakasana, your crow pose, then try to wiggle your tail. Can I send my tail to one side? And then can I send my tail to the other side? And can I send my tail to one side? And can I send my tail to the other side? Now you're gonna notice that as you start to wiggle your tail, you might have the sensation of either falling forward, in which case grip your fingertips and push the ground away. That's what stops the face plant. And you might find yourself tipping back to your feet. If that happens, lean in a little bit more. All right, so once you got, all right, I got crow pose and I'm wagging my tail, now it's gonna be a question of engaging your hip flexors, okay? So your hip flexors are the muscles that allow you to pull your knees up towards your chest. So this action, so you can meet me on all fours if you want, and even do this one leg at a time. So meet me here, we're gonna take a breath in, and you're gonna pull your left knee to your chest, and lower it down. Pull your right knee to your chest, lower it down, left knee to chest, put it down, right knee to chest, one more time, left knee, put it down, right knee, okay? Now hold your right knee here. Get really clear on what muscles are holding your right knee up. You might feel your abdominals engage and you might feel your hip flexors engage. Keep that in your mind because you're gonna look for that same sensation when it comes time to lift your knee. So here's what we need to do. Once we have wiggled our tail to one side, pick a side, any side, okay? Once you've wiggled your tail, the next bit is try to suck the opposite knee. In my case, it's gonna be the knee that's on my right arm. I'm gonna try and pick it up and suck it up into my chest and then put it back on the arm, okay? And then come out. And do that a few times. Shift your hips to one side, suck that knee up, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and then put it back, yeah? That sucking up and holding, that's training you to engage what you need to engage for the transition. I'll show it from the side. We're here, okay? Now, I'm gonna swivel my butt to the left. Now I've got most of my weight on my left arm. Now I gotta push with my hands and find that same action. suck the knee up to the chest. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and then put it down. Okay, if we don't engage these muscles, what you will find is your knee will slide right the fuck down. Okay, you'll be here, you'll pick it up and it'll go to the floor. Okay, so that's why we need to think about that engagement, and that's why I had you do it with me right here, because it's one thing to know you need to do that, and it's another thing to have your body prepped, ready, and able to do that in the moment, okay? So we've talked shifting the center of gravity to one side. We've talked sucking that knee up into your chest, okay? Now, the work is, can you hold right there for like 2 breaths? If you can't hold for even a half a breath, you're not yet gonna have the ability to extend that leg, because extending that leg has to happen slowly. If it happens fast, you'll take yourself out of the pose. So you need to be able to build a little bit of stamina in this, and that's okay. That's what practice is for, okay? So next piece, you're here. We're swiveling the hips to the left, sucking that knee up. Try to hold for 3, 2, 1, and come down. If you're able to hold, now we can move to the next step. The final step in this transition is contending with the weight of your back leg. Because you know, the goal eventually, soon, is to take that lifted leg and extend it back behind you. And when I say that arm balances are about physics and science, not strength, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Well, secretly, everything we've just talked about. As your leg starts to extend behind you, it's gonna get heavier. Can we agree that this is lighter than this? Yeah? Can we agree that a short arm is lighter than a long arm? And if you're like, I don't know, lady, I don't believe you. Take your arms out like wings and go like this, and notice what that requires of your core. And then bend your elbows and go like this and see how much easier that is. That is the concept I'm talking about here. Holding a leg behind you, short and bent, doesn't require as much from you as holding your leg behind you really long and heavy. So how do we contend with the leg that is long and heavy behind us? We contend with it by counterbalancing it. How do we counterbalance? Is if you have something really long behind you, how do you hold that thing up? You send the other half of you more forward, okay? So I'll illustrate this now. I'll show you first what most people do that has them go wrong, and then I'll show you what to do. Okay, so we're back. Crow pose. Swivel your hips to one side. Suck that knee in and up. Now, most people start to send this leg back, and this happens, right? The leg goes back and the whole pose comes out, and then they go, well, I'm not strong enough to hold it. False. I just didn't do the absolutely necessary thing, which is to counterbalance that leg. So as my leg begins to extend behind me, what I wanna do is take my torso and send it more this way, okay? I'll show it with my knee on the ground because it'll be easier to see. My knee is here. As I start to extend it, my torso is gonna move forward. My torso is gonna move forward. My torso is gonna move forward. My torso is gonna move forward, so that when the leg is extended, my chest is as far forward as it can be to provide counterbalance to hold that leg up, okay? Rule of thumb in your arm balances, if you tip back to your feet, you have not shifted forward enough. You have not created counterbalance. Physics are magic. All right, so here we go. Crow pose. Swivel the hips to one side. Suck the knee in and up. Now, in order to send this leg back, I have to start sending my chest forward. Forward, forward, forward. For every inch that my leg goes back, my chest goes forward, okay? The other thing I want you to know, this leg that was on my arm, notice that it was tight, heel to butt. If this leg is hanging down like this, if my leg is hanging down, it's adding extra weight to the pose. So point your foot and heel to butt. The tighter that leg is, the lighter and more buoyant the whole thing will feel. All right, so to recap, 3 major things. Shift your center of gravity off of the arm that you're going to release, okay? Secondly, work the sucking up of the thigh bone to your chest. That's a big piece of this. And then for every inch that you begin to straighten your leg, send your torso forward more. All right, this transition is challenging. That's why there are entire tutorials for it. If it were easy, we wouldn't need tutorials, all right? And if you're like, I'm almost there, but there's something missing, this is literally what I do all day, every day inside Yogi Flight School, my arm balance and inversions program. I work with people just like you who are either new to yoga or have been practicing for years and really want to unlock this part of their practice, but there's just no time in yoga classes to have somebody look at you and give you the exact tips you need to take it to the next level. So if you'd like to have access to this kind of training and unlimited coaching for your practice, check out the link in the description below to take a look at Yogi Flight School and see if it feels like a good fit for the next step in your practice. Either way, I'll see you next week on the next video. Happy flying.